So welcome. I see some familiar faces and I'm excited to get started. So first, hello everyone. My name is Carissa. For if anyone who doesn't know me, I'm the Director of Pipeline Programs here at Patients Are Waiting. And we are an organization dedicated to limiting health disparities by increasing diversity in medicine. And we do that in three main ways. So first, increasing the pipeline of minority clinicians, making that pipeline less leaky, and then supporting minority clinicians in practice. So I have a quick video just to share that I think illustrates everything that we do in a really, really meaningful way.
I have a dream that one day
There's about 5% of physicians are Black, and that's been the same since the 1960s.
this nation will
Often in medical school, I'd learn about a topic, and then I would just hear how I'm gonna die faster and worse than anyone else.
live out the true meaning of its
I think
creed,
often diversity work is done on the side. I want it to be at the center.
that all men are created equal.
At the patient side, what we see are health disparities along racial lines, higher infant mortality among Black children, higher maternal mortality in Black women. And that is regardless of socioeconomic status, that is regardless of educational level, that is regardless of insurance status.
In the health, welfare, and
Racial health disparities have to do with racism.
the emergency room were filled with whites and blacks and Hispanics.
And so when we think about
who
that
do not
flat
have healthcare.
line of Black physicians and that similar flat line of Latino physicians, 6%, we're wasting human resources. Our mission is to eliminate health disparities by increasing diversity in medicine. We do that by increasing the pipeline of minority clinicians, making that pipeline less leaky, and supporting minority clinicians in practice. Making that pipeline less leaky, that work is really our work with college students. The biggest predictor of becoming a physician is childhood household income and having a parent with a terminal degree. So something's wrong with our system. We are there to close information gaps and support with resources in critical timeframes so that you can have a straight path to medicine, a straight path to the bedside, and a straight path to patients. And then supporting minority clinicians in practice. So creating a sense of community among physicians who are minoritized. That may be quarterly events, our annual conference, our monthly community calls. Students can connect with mentors. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It has been a hard road, but the work is important and people are important. We're all in this together. We all stand to improve. A lot of times people will say, well, not everybody can be a doctor. That's correct. Do you want to serve in healthcare? How do I help you get where you want to go? Patients are waiting for you.
I know you can do a little claps. I love that video because I think it brings life, it brings visuals. You're really able to see exactly what we're talking about a little bit better than I can share it. But as you know, we have two main parts to our organization. So first we have our community programs and then our pipeline programs. They both advance us to our same mission. So on the community program side, we have our Diversifying Duals initiative, What the Health Book Club, as well as our mental health initiative. So these are all things that are enriching our local community, and then also taking that all across nationally as well with our Health Equity Book Club. And I guess our mental health initiative and Diversifying Duals initiative are local to Pennsylvania. Then our pipeline programs, we have our Pipeline Dreams High School program, our annual Diversity in Medicine conference, and our applicant machine advising programming as well. So I want to get through this so that we can do a couple introductions. I'd love just for y'all, Dr. Hamblin, to introduce yourself. I know we just heard you, and then we'll go through the rest of the team as well.
Yes. So hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Sharice Hamblin. I am the founder and president of Patients Are Waiting. I'm an OBGYN and I am physically in Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm faculty at UMass Chan Medical School. And yeah, So it's very exciting to be here with you, and I look forward to chatting with you more informally later.
Absolutely. So Dr. Livingston can't be here tonight, but she is also one of our board members and runs our DDI initiative. Um, I like to skip over to our other team members.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Venus. Excuse me. Oh, I should have practiced before I cleared my throat before I got on here. Good to be on the call this evening. I'm the interim director of community programs. In the previous slide, you probably saw Sabrina, so I'm filling in for Sabrina while she's on leave. So many of you, if you come aboard later on in the future, you'll either see myself or Sabrina. So glad to be here.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Venus. It's nice to meet you. I don't think we've met yet. I'm Kyla. I help out with the MCAT cohort. I am currently in Chicago, Illinois. I'm finishing up my fourth year of medical school, and applying to residency. Um, was that all the questions? Yeah, excited to meet everyone.
Perfect. Well, thanks, team. It's lovely to have y'all on. So, our culture, as you can tell, we're very chatty. We're on camera. We're definitely just super comfortable. We're really participatory. We're always participating. We're engaging. We want to be super welcoming. So, we'd love just to get from our guests some of the following things on this slide. So we'd love to hear your name, your interests, where you go to school, maybe what level of school you are, where you're located, and then lastly, how did you get connected with PRW?
Wonderful. Great to hear from you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining in. So I'm I love the affirmation that or the confirmation that the things that we do make sense and make their way to actual usefulness for students.
Absolutely, Dr. Hamblin, ditto. Well, great to meet you all. Great to see some of y'all again. As well, we're just going to go through all of our programs for today's purposes. So feel free to drop anything in the chat if you have any questions, want us to explain any further. We're going to first start so we already went through about what we do, our introductions. We're going to start with our high school program, which is Pipeline Dreams. Then we're going to go through our college programs and offerings for students in cycle applicants. And then we're going to go into internships, which I'm really excited about for the spring and summer. Okay, so first, as you can tell, I love all of y'all coming off of mute. I love everybody getting into participating, but I wanted to pull up this graph quickly just to center our conversation and especially everything that we're doing in Patients Are Waiting. So what is this graph? Can anyone help me digest this? I don't know how it fell into my slides. No clue how it got here. I'm panicking, but it must be kind of important if if somebody put it in here. What does it look like to anybody?
It's like the different demographics of health professionals within our medical field right now.
Amazing, Samicha. I had a feeling this might look a little familiar. Dr. Hamlin, no, she wants to chime in.
I know. And Samisha, I'm going to pull on that thread. So stay off of mute. Come with me. So I like to look at things simplistically. And I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 different lines. And do they look the same or do they look different?
They all look pretty similar. Like we see a white majority within our healthcare field.
Exactly. And so whenever I'm looking at this, and she can remember this from Pipeline Dreams, like you see whatever the field is, you look and you'll see the majority of that field is with majority. And there's kind of this, a smaller subset with both the portion of that field, Black or Hispanic, being very similarly and very low.
Absolutely. thank you all for helping me out. Y'all racked my brain as to why I included this in here, but we definitely always want to ground our conversations around data and around the why of why we do these internships and these programs. We're really passionate about a vision that creates this sustainable pipeline for Black and Brown clinicians, scientists, professionals all across the board. And the last thing that also probably looks familiar is this long and windy path going from wherever you could be on this journey all the way into being a practicing physician. So all of the programs that we're going to be talking about today are designed to specifically help and fill in any places where on this path students might get derailed, might have some challenges, and might need some support. So first, our high school program for juniors and seniors. This is a 12-week hybrid program that runs in the spring semester. So our sessions are held on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 8 online, and the dates this year are January 20th to April 11th. So these are interactive sessions online that also are coupled with immersive in-person experiences. So a big thing about Pipeline of Dreams is that we want to provide both academic enrichment, research, public health, health equity, practice reading, scientific articles, getting you those things that can support an undergraduate career, while also exposing you to cool experiences and a lot of different clinicians and specialties and careers that you might have never even thought about before. This is perfect for juniors and seniors in high school that really just have an interest in healthcare, medical careers, health allied careers, and research. Basically, how it works is here's some photos just from our program last year. It was our hands-on day, and then also when we went to the Latino Medical Student Association conference. So our online sessions are where students learn about health equity. We have over 15 specialties featured. So we have different clinicians, professionals that come and talk to y'all every single week in the speaker series. And then you also get to work closely with an undergraduate peer mentor that facilitates all of your group work. So basically, something that's really cool that all students leave this program with is experience developing a research proposal that examines racial health disparity. Big stuff. Normally students are like, hold on, I'm doing a research proposal. Hold on, I have to go. So I'm finished with school at 3, and then I have to come back and do more academic stuff. I have homework, I have sports, I have all these other things. But this Zoom session, this experience is really, really designed for y'all to get excited about what it means to make a difference in the healthcare industry and field and in a career. My favorite part, the last thing I want to talk about is there's 3 in-person experiences. So first, there's a hands-on healthcare experience. Then we take everyone to an amazing day of inspiration at a conference, an LMSA. And then lastly, there's a student research expo where students propose and present a research poster. They learn that language and they learn exactly what that means. And then they compete for a summer internship as prize. So we've really thought of everything. You can tell we've done this before. A couple important notes. We have a new application process this year because we got an unprecedented amount of applications last year. So we are looking for all applicants from juniors and seniors to be in by December 1st, and we're implementing a new interview system. So all prospective applicants will be interviewed right before Christmas in December. We'll announce the final cohort on January 5th, and then we'll have an opening ceremony to connect everyone in person and online. It'll be a hybrid experience and just to get them excited for what's in store. Now, a couple questions. What might be interesting about this program is that I haven't talked about any sort of grades. I haven't talked about any sort of test scores. And so we don't look to find students who are stellar necessarily academically for this program. We're really looking for curiosity and exploring what their future could hold for them, especially in medicine and healthcare. You got to be a hard worker. We take attendance. We have a 95% attendance rate on our online program, which is unprecedented. So you got to show up. We need somebody committed. We want someone open to learning new things. This might be a different way of thinking about how to engage critically with scientific material. And then also, you got to work well with others. It is group projects, and you know what everybody says about group projects, but it's amazing because we have cohorts in different regions. So you get to collaborate with students that you've never met before, and you get to really stretch that muscle. So that is our first experience, Pipeline Dreams High School. I see Dr. Hamlin dropping some things in the chat. Thank you, Kyla. It is amazing. Everyone watching this later, I'm excited for you guys to read your applications. You're going to join an amazing community of alums. 97% of our alumni are enrolled in college and go to some amazing universities all across the country. Okay, so that's our high school programs. For college students, which I know some of y'all are itching for, I'm going to turn the mic over to Kyla and Dr. Hamlin.
Yes. So for college students, I just want to make sure if you linger on the high school program again for a second, for those of you who are college students and you're thinking, well, this is so great that these high school students get to do this, but what about us who are in college? There is a staff opportunity. I didn't know if, Chris, if you were going back to that.
Yes, it's in the internship section. So we'll
Perfect.
talk about it later. Yeah.
Perfect. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, the best that they have is for high school students. But moving on to, college students, Katusha, I know that you are in the midst of this prepping for MCAT. We've over years done different iterations of preparing students for MCAT, and Kyla has been their sensei. And we've talked about kind of what would work best, and having an accountability group is what we've gotten from feedback and from iterating on this process. And so having a boot camp Saturday morning to help students stay accountable, stay engaged, stay on top of it, and then bringing people together to learn in front of each other, that's a big part of the PRW way and our culture here, because it's part of the culture of medicine. Absolutely. Kyla, anything you wanted to add?
Yes. The next slide is going to be more about the MCAT, but if we want to finish up with the applicant machine, and then we can hop into all things MCAT.
Yes, and as I mentioned about iterating on things, the applicant machine is what we've developed over time as how do we advise students who are getting themselves together and ready for applying to medical school. And so that process is what we call the applicant machine. And you should register for this if you are ready to go. So MCAT Bootcamp is
Alrighty. Yes, so Dr. Hamlin already kind of gave you guys the bird's eye view of this program. This is kind of our mashed up brainchild where we're trying to make something innovative that doesn't exist yet. This is a group of people who are doing the same thing at the same time, who are dedicated, who are going to show up, and who are going to support each other. So this is not like Princeton, like, sorry, I shouldn't name other prep materials, but this is not going to be something where you show up and you passively absorb information. No, we are better together. We are going to do a passage, we're going to pull it up on the screen, and we're going to get off mute and we're going to do it. Because that is the only way you're going to move the needle with your MCAT prep. The only way. We're going to continue, we're going to build our confidence, we're going to build our ability to talk in front of each other and to think in front of each other and process in front of each other. These are all skills that you are going to bring into medical school, all skills you're going to use as the future physician, and all skills you'll need for the rest of your life. So we're serious about showing up. do not let these high schoolers embarrass you because they attend their thing. They're there 97%. So I'm trying to compete with them. Can we get 100 this year? Can we get 100% attendance? That's what I'm looking for. And that is really what we're looking for. Go-getters. The application process is going to open this November, I believe. Yeah, so this is going to be on a first come, first serve basis. We'll wrap up registration mid-December, and then we'll start to announce acceptance. We'll meet together, kind of discuss goals, and go from there. But I'm super excited. Dr. Hamlin's excited. Carissa's excited. Venus is excited. I can just feel the energy. So I'm just looking for people who are also coming with that energy.
So it's kind of like I like this boot camp thing. It's kind of like a workout for your MCAT, or is is that kind of what I okay, got it.
No, like exactly. That's exactly right.
I love it.
Yes. Awesome, awesome. So for the applicant machine, as I said, I have a way of doing things, and I think we have also like our PRW way where we work things out. And so over time, the application cycle has a rhythm to it, and we want you to be setting yourself up for success. Your life story is already written, and so your personal statement doesn't need to wait until April in the year that you're applying, right? And so we have a process that we go through with our advising, and so we want to get people who are ready to apply this upcoming cycle on board and start working with you to get your application ready and follow you along through the process. Right now, we are going through the application process with a handful of students, and this cohort is going through. And so we'll be recruiting for next year's cohort. And so rolling admission, we want to see your interest, where you are in the process. And again, PRWA is just like no holds barred, show your stuff. So we ask, hey, transcript. And again, it's not about perfect scores, but it is, are you done? Are we actually at that place of your prereqs are done, your MCAT is done, and we're ready to apply? And then how do we fashion your application to put your assets forward so that you can have a successful application cycle? So we want to hear from you if you are ready to apply. Katusha, this would be something for you, certainly. Um, and then also others who are done with their MCAT. So you think about MCAT as kind of like this is a spring thing that you need to get done, and the applicant machine is like your MCAT is done, your prereqs are done, and now we're ready to apply.
Thank you. Thank you all. Does anyone have any questions before we move on? So we talked about pipeline dreams, we talked about MCAT, and we talked about also applicant machine. So I know we have some folks probably really interested in any of these. So again, feel free to drop it in the chat. I'm gonna go into our internships if there's no questions. I'll count to 5 in my head. I know we do an amazing job explaining things, so I will take that as a compliment. Okay, internships, internships, internships. We love internships. We're really excited. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Kyla, question about MCAT. Michaela asks, is the MCAT boot camp for those taking MCAT during the summer or the winter?
That is a great question, Michaela. Hopefully, you guys are hearing me because I think I'm a little frozen. But great question. Um, so basically, since we're starting with cars, anyone who can read can start in this boot camp process because we want to start going through working on our critical reasoning skills. However, the beginning portion will just be an hour, but people who are taking the MCAT in the summer or winter are encouraged to stay on and do work together and kind of bond and get through, share tips with each other. But the beginning portion is really open to anyone. I hope that answers your question.
Fine. Perfect. Thanks, Kyla. Katucha asked an additional question regarding applicant machine, Dr. Hamblin. If I submitted the interest form, do I still submit an additional applicant machine when it opens in November? That answer is, it is the same form. So, Dr. Hamblin, I know, we're reviewing them on a 2-week basis. I know it's been busy. I see it looks like she's trying to pull it up. But you would not need to fill it out. Yes, the same form. Great. Cool. This is exciting. We have baby doctors in here. Definitely. So, we're going to be offering a variety of internships this spring. We have 5 different opportunities that are just based off of experiences that can definitely enrich, especially like college students, any graduate students, or recently graduated students. Folks who are part of the community got connected with us and really just feel connected to everything that we're doing, passionate about health equity. And then lastly, this is ideal, especially for students seeking practicum experiences. Maybe they need a field study for a public health course they're taking, or they're really just trying to gain some real world experience to support their resume. So we have 10-week and 13-week spring internships this spring semester. And so I'm just going to jump right in. Okay, so first, as Dr. Hamlin mentioned, our teaching assistant internship. So this is a little bit longer. This is 13 weeks. So we have a week to prep before we start Pipeline Dreams High School. This program is a teaching assistantship for Pipeline Dreams High School. So that first opportunity I talked about, our team members help facilitate in small groups, different groups of high school students. So they help work through our research curriculum on those Tuesday evenings and support in-person experiences, but they also get to come along for the ride. So every clinician that comes into our speaker series, they still have access to them, right? They're expanding their professional network. All of our trips are hands-on healthcare experience, connecting with the doctor volunteers, the resident volunteers, all of the clinicians at the conference, as well as this is like a perfect experience for students who are performing well academically, have the time and energy in maybe a spring semester with a lighter course load to give back a little bit to their community, show some community engagement and leadership. So these dates are a little bit pushed up from the additional internship experiences. So this has a special application. So our applications, we're having them due before Thanksgiving, just so that before the holiday comes, everybody can just finish it, submit everything. We'll be doing interviews right kind of before finals. I'm sorry, but right before finals, that's our goal. It'll be a short interview around like 15 to 20 minutes. Then we will select interns right before we jump into finals. And then we'll have our intern orientation. It'll be virtual right at the top of the year, the new year. So this is a really amazing experience. Again, really, especially for students who are really looking for some additional leadership experience, have maybe a lighter course load. It's only 10 hours a week. It meets on Tuesdays. We have a Monday meeting as well as a Friday meeting with some responsibilities that happen asynchronously throughout the week as well. Okay, so all these details are outlined on our website that will direct you to towards the end as well. Okay. Okay, next. So our community programs internship. This internship program is really to support our Diversifying Doulas initiative and our mental health initiative programs. So these are Diversifying Doulas initiative trains doulas in Lancaster area and surrounding counties, as well as delivers subsidized doula services to birthing people of color. They also work on community engagement and education as well as research. And then and measuring all of that amazing work that they're doing. And then for the mental health initiative, that helps connect people of color in Lancaster County to clinicians of color in Lancaster County as well. So that this internship supports all of those efforts, engaging the community, helping especially with the educational programming that brings folks together. For instance, this picture was at our hands-on day for diversifying doulas initiatives. So you can see doctors, you can see doulas, you can see different members of the maternal health team. Just, it's amazing to see them all together. And so this is an example of a program and community engagement that an intern would be great to support Venus as well as Sabrina too. So this application timeline is pushed back a little bit. So applications are due November 30th, right after Thanksgiving, right before we come back. We have interviews through December, through the beginning of January. We'll pick interns quite quickly on that next day, on January 11th. We'll deliberate. Don't worry, I'm Paula. Dr. Hamblin's definitely Simon. So that's an American Idol joke. I'm dating myself. Oh gosh, Venus is laughing. Okay, anyway, we'll move on. I don't really watch The Voice. I need to know their judges. Okay, anyway. And then our internship orientation would be January 13th. So we interview, we deliberate, and then we get right to the work. Venus, would you like to add anything to this opportunity?
I think you did a fabulous job. I just know that we would love for someone to work with us in community programs and see what we do over here with all the maternal health and mental health initiatives. So if you are looking to get your skills up in that area or your knowledge base up in that area, we welcome you to apply.
Thank you so much, Venus. Okay, next, okay, our next opportunity is a community events internship. So this is perfect, especially for someone who's really done the club scene on campus, right? Meaning not nightclub scene, but opportunity scene. Okay, you have been involved in all the different clubs, you know how to organize, you know how to bring people together, you know the registrations, you know the flyers, you know all of that stuff, and you like it, but want to take it to the next level. This internship is perfect for students like that. So it's really focused on logistics support for all of our public facing events. So we have that community call that Katucha mentioned earlier. We have educational classes as well as different special events for all of our programs that convene and connect with the community. So this is definitely something as well where we're looking for people who have some creative skills. So updating or creating like our newsletter, contributing to that. Anyone who might like social media as well, those things would fall under this community events role for sure. Would definitely also be somebody in Lancaster County who ideally would also have a car. Or something that they could definitely help bring things to an event or a venue and help us in that way for sure. Dr. Hamlin, did you have anything to add to this one?
I was gonna add, so one of the things about PRW is we always start somewhere and we may finish in a different place than where we started. So for example, I'm saying this is great for in person. Dala, I know it's all the way in Oklahoma, but for example, if you had somebody who was more remote, but they said, I have these skills, or this is what I think I can bring to the table. It's like one of the things that's really important that you learn over time as you are going through this whole process of medical education is that you have to say, what are my assets? What am I bringing to the table? And put those things forward. Don't let a description or something intimidate you or make you think that, this couldn't work. And so, yeah, just be creative, thoughtful, and see what is interesting to you and then apply. And we want to get to know you. It's not like you're just going to be in the abyss of, how many applications. You're here. That's part of why we did introductions. So just again, to get to know you and saying, how can we help you and how can you help us?
So our diversity medicine conference internship, we're really excited for. This is always a position that gets lots of applications for. This is similar in that same style. It's 10 weeks at 10 and 15 hours a week. And this is really supporting and serving as admin to support all of the conference planning, logistics, communications, and promotion. So many of y'all have heard of our Diversity in Medicine conference. It's a 5-day event in September, that last weekend of September. Really focus on connecting our students in our pipeline to all of Dr. Hamblin, all of Dr. Livingston, all of our network in medical school admissions. That is really the main goal of this event. It's really amazing. This fall into the spring, we'll be initiating our DIM conference committee meetings. So this is convening of different stakeholders all across different medical schools and undergraduate institutions as well to plan the event. So the intern would definitely serve as admin to help coordinate all of those things. So somebody who's great on emails, who's great with the calendar, who's great with Zoom. If you love all those detail-oriented things, this is the perfect conference internship for you. Okay, it has that exact same timeline as well. Okay. Kyla, anything you want to add?
I was just gonna say that I think this one is just close to my heart because this is such an incredible opportunity that like years in the future you'll think back and be like, wow, I connected with all of these amazing people in healthcare, and was able to build this like amazing thing. I still talk about these opportunities to this day, and I just think that like go for it. Just go.
Okay, that was it. Oh no, we have one more. I apologize.
I will add about the research assistant. And so one of the things that's really exciting about us as an organization, you watched the video at the beginning, but we started informally over the years with a little, a panel here and a mentorship here and an event there until really in 2019, having a conference where we had a fiscal sponsor to be like our, to be up under them and really realizing that what we wanted to do was change medicine, and that was bigger than what we could do from an informal perspective, from an informal approach. And so at the beginning of 2020, we launched as an independent nonprofit 501c3 organization. Over these years, we are realizing like, wow, the work that we want to do, we do lots of programs and they're really important and they're impactful. And every time you write for a grant or you write an impact report or a grant report to say like, hey, what did we do with this money that you invested in us to do this mission work? That it's research. There's research that can come out of this. And so really taking that hard look at what you're doing and also looking at what's happening in medicine. So some of those same ideas that come from the Pipeline Dreams student projects and saying, I'm looking at something in the world, I'm looking at something in medicine, and it just is not sitting well with me. What do I have to say about it? And putting that in a scholarly way. And so we are building our research division or research enterprise through PRW. And so this spring, we have the opportunity to bring on some research assistants, and their main work will be starting with focusing on writing and participating in qualitative and quantitative research from the Diversifying Doulas Initiative. But this is something that will grow and expand, and there'll be more than one opportunity. So, but this is where we're going to launch hiring research assistants. And so we have two, our current research division is two PhDs, one out of George Washington and one who graduated from Brandeis. And they will be leading and supervising research interns, and our team will meet. So this is, again, 10 weeks, January through April. So aligning with your semester. Research support until you'll be reporting directly to Kumbo and Anise, who are those two researchers, and then working closely with Dr. Livingston and myself and then again with the team. So overall, but this is less of the logistics of the day-to-day operations and more of bird's eye view. What are we talking about? What is it that we want to say? And what is the data telling us? And then how to tell our data story. And so it'll be exciting. We are certainly, like we just submitted 2 manuscripts this in the last 2 months and had a presentation at a national conference. And so this is really, we're building something that will be incredibly active. And if you want to be a part of that, you can apply for the research assistant internship.
Thank you, Dr. Hamlin. Okay. So we love just to open the floor for questions and direct all of you to our website. So everything is updated on our website for our programs, for high school students, college students, as well as our internships on our careers page. So it's super easy to remember, www.patientsarewaiting.com. And then if you go on the pipeline programs tab, you'll see a drop down and an overview of our programs. But then if you go into the get involved, that's where you can find our internships. The internships, the last thing I do want to make a note of, the teaching assistant opportunity for Pipeline Dreams High School has a separate application than the other internships because it has a separate timeline. So regardless, on the page, you'll see all the opportunities listed over. But if anyone wants to apply to, let's say, the teaching assistantship and then another one, you can't necessarily do that. We will be asking you to apply for a particular internship. However, if in the internship, or excuse me, in the interview process, we notice maybe with your opportunities, your experiences, or even your time commitment this semester, it might be a better fit for a different opportunity. We will have that open conversation. Just like Dr. Hamlin mentioned, you're getting plugged in with all of the things that we offer, our network, our community, and it is definitely some amazing experiences. We've had our interns go on and do amazing things, work on amazing projects, go to amazing programs all across the country. And so you are definitely entering an elite group of students. So thank you for your time and energy. And again, any questions, answers, comments, we're happy to answer them.
Hi, Carissa. Can you hear me?
Hey, Nala, how are you?
Doing good. Let me just go ahead and introduce myself before I ask my question. My name is Dala. I'm a senior at the University of Oklahoma, and I was a part of the recent cohort of PRW and UPenn Summer Research and Women's Health Program. Absolutely a blast. If you're on here and you're looking for something to do next summer, definitely be on the lookout for that. My question was for the research assistant internship, the one for next spring. Are there like any specific skill sets that y'all looking for? Because I understood you mentioned like, qualitative and quantitative research. So like what specific like skill set would you say would be valuable to like contribute to that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So starting out, so being organized, having the time available, and so we're expecting this to be 10 to 15 hours a week. Our staff meetings are on Fridays at noon. Our research team meeting will still be decided based on all team members' availability. So that part is not like a static schedule. Whereas when you look at it comparison to Pipeline Dreams, teaching assistant, that's a set schedule. You have to be available on Monday evenings. You have to be available on Tuesday evenings. So, and then the skills would be really teamwork, collaboration, organization, and writing skills, right? Like, so that attention to detail. We have a qualitative study that's going on right now, Dadvocates. And so you might have seen on our social media about a listening session. So certainly that project is already underway. And then with the DDI program that's been going for 5 years and like over 300 families having received doula support. And now we're getting up to about 100 doulas who were trained. There will definitely like attention to detail and any kind of experience with data analysis, but mostly like data entry. Yeah, so those are some of the things, but the skills that you need, like we're also willing for you to learn. But I think more than anything, it's that collaborative nature, communication skills, and attention to detail.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
What other questions? And Erin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Erin. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, and can you guys see me? Because I can't see myself.
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, hi. My name is Erin. I'm a third year at Temple right now. I didn't know this was so like, I didn't know that it took place in Lancaster. So, I mean, but I kind of knew about patients are waiting from the UPenn like the women's health internship that happened over the summer. So I was just kind of just coming back for like a follow-up because even I followed the Instagram page and it's like really interesting. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here and just looking for, I guess, opportunities.
Absolutely. So yeah, so you're just down the road in Philly. So most of our things are hybrid where lots of things are happening online and then there may be some punctuating events. And so I think the best way to approach this is kind of thinking about your spring semester and what kind of time commitment you will what time do you have available? And then also looking at what things you've participated in already. It's like what's missing from my tool chest and my experiences, right? And so, for example, sometimes I know that in undergrad, I found it very challenging to get involved in research, and it felt like what is my entry point? How am I supposed to start doing this? And it never seemed to it never seemed to work out. It seemed like there were people who were in the know, and then there was me. And that's honestly how I felt. And then even, later on. And so if your timeline is, I have a really challenging semester and I more so want to know, or I'm prepping for the MCAT, for spring MCAT, then the MCAT makes total sense. If it's like I've taken the MCAT already and I'm going to be applying, then the applicant machine makes total sense. If I've already graduated and I have some time, but I want to make sure that I have a community because I'm feeling very isolated, then, Pipeline Dreams might even make sense. So just kind of think about what you have already, what you are missing or would still like to do, and what your time commitment, uh, what aligns with your time available next spring. I think that would be the approach that I take to like, which one of these opportunities seems like it would be good for me? But I think you have to take all of those things into consideration.
Thank you. That
And
was some great advice. Thank you.
oh, you're so welcome. And like Carissa said, if you happen to, apply for one thing and in the process you're like, this for where you are, this other thing would be really great. We'll bring it up and totally, share that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hi, Leah. We went around and did introductions. And so do you want to share? Where are you and what are you up to and what are you interested in?
Hi, sorry I'm late. Just like came from volleyball practice and it just like ended, so I just like wanted to join last minute. But I'm a senior. Um, I'm currently studying for the MCAT, so it's like mostly looking at the MCAT prep stuff because it's just been hard to like, study with like school and all that stuff. And hopefully apply in May. So yeah. That's where I'm at in the cycle.
Awesome. And what school are you at?
I go to Franklin and Marshall College.
Okay. Oh, Leah, I can't see you, so I'm like,
Uh,
all right. So yeah, so we were just kind of talking about what are the things, and I think that same advice that I gave to Erin is what makes sense is like think about what do you need, right? And then what time available do you have in the spring? Um, And yes, certainly MCAT prep, listen, boot camp, I went to my cardio kickboxing class all through medical school, and it was like going to church. And those are two things. I went to church and cardio kickboxing. And it was like it helped me stay just kind of helped me stay in the midst of doing the things that I thought were important, that I felt were important. It wasn't the only thing, right? And so that boot camp is really like, how do I get something out of this week? So even for people who aren't in the thick of preparing for their MCAT, because it will not replace your MCAT study, but it will augment it. And so I think that having a community of support, having a habit of working through problems and doing things in a timed way, and kind of like you do a lot of MCAT studying in isolation. And so bringing that in front of other people to say like, hold on, wait, what do you mean you just did a whole practice test, two practice tests, and didn't review the answers? Like, no, that's not it. So we need that. So that's the point of the MCAT boot camp. And then, depending on what you need, is it that you need research? Now again, when we think about research for your application, right? Research takes time. And so, for example, Dala, I would bet that you are still in touch with the project and the team that you worked with over the summer, and you haven't had anything published yet. They may be 2 years for getting something from whatever your entry point is into a research project to when a publication happens. So if you're thinking about that for like, I need research experience for my application, the timeline on that, you've got to think about it as 2 years potentially, from like you participate in something to it lands on the pages of a journal. So anyway, are there questions?
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much for logging on. We're finishing right on time. Perfect. We'll definitely send you all a follow-up email with a recording of this session with hyperlinks and descriptions of all the opportunities so you can weigh your options and really do a little bit of analysis, like Dr. Hamblin just shared about what would be perfect for spring. We will also be continuing with some of these opportunities through the summer. So that's just a note in your head as well. And we'll see you all soon. It was lovely tonight. Thank you guys for logging on.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Mhm.